The waste of the week goes to the government for funding political nonprofits and the Fed's payroll problems. Joining us right now, the president and CEO of OpenTheBooks.com, Adam Andrzejewski. Adam, happy Friday to you. You did some digging and found the U.S. government entered a contract with a nonprofit organization that provides legal assistance to unaccompanied minors crossing the border. So, Adam, how much taxpayer dollars is being designated for this?
Well, Jan, it's a large amount of money. It's $158 million to one single nonprofit organization in New York City called the Vera Institute for Justice. This contract raises all kinds of public policy implications. As you know, if government subsidizes something, you get more of it. So this grant for $158 million subsidizes legal counsel for illegal entrants, these unaccompanied minors. Jan, we don't need more unaccompanied minors coming across the border. It raises all kinds of human trafficking and child trafficking issues. So there's huge public policy implications with this contract.
Well, we know the federal government often issues contracts with nonprofits. So what makes this case with this particular organization so different?
Well, the Vera Institute for Justice is overtly partisan on some on some issues that are, that they advocate on. For instance, they advocated not only for defunding the police, but for dismantling the police and taking those funds into the community service programs. And that in the big cities has led to a large rise in crime. They've also advocated for releasing all illegal entrants held in ICE detention facilities into the mainstream population of the country.
And you actually discovered that the Vera Institute utilizes workarounds to help migrants. What did you find?
Well, this is, again, a troubling development with huge public policy implications. So, for example, an illegal entrant, it does not have a right to a public defender because this is a civil case and they're not citizens. Well, the Vera Institute for Justice, they want to create a public defender system that they run, funded by taxpayers for every single illegal entrant in the country. Again, if you subsidize illegal immigration, you're going to get more of it.
Now, you guys also looked into how the federal government handles cost of living adjustments for employees, which is known as locality pay. So talk us through how this works. How does the government decide the salary for someone living in the very expensive tax state of California as opposed to maybe an employee living in a bordering state like Arizona?
So at the federal level, when you're employed, you have a base salary and then you have a plus up. You have a goose up for additional dollars if you live in an area that has a high cost of living, say, for instance, San Francisco. So we know, according to our data at OpenTheBooks.com, that in 100 large federal agencies, the average pay is now six figures, $100,000 or above. So say you're a VA doctor in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Now that's a base pay location. There's not supposed to be a plus up there. But even the base locations receive an extra 16% of plus up. So that on every $100,000 of income, that's an extra 16 grand in a place that doesn't have a high cost of living.
Correct, because it's not the same as living in like a place like San Francisco, as you mentioned. So how much does this cost the average taxpayer?
So it's a big amount of money. It's $500 million. So Jan, if we want to cut some waste from the federal government right now, you and I, we could go in there and we could trim $500 million out of the federal payroll just by making definitions mean something. Basic pay should be basic pay. It shouldn't be goosed up by another 16%.
My goodness. All right. Adam Andrzejewski, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.